Now, you ought to be able to get a sense of their frustration at this point. They want an answer from John the Baptist, and he's giving them the answers, but it's not the ones they want. They want clear answers, and he seems to have little time to deal with them. Verse 22, so they said to him, "Who are you? We need to give an answer to those who sent us. What do you say about yourself?" So John had denied being who they had hoped he would be, so they can't just return to the Sanhedrin and say, well, he's not these guys. He's not the prophet. He's not Elijah. He's not Moses. We don't know who he is. He wouldn't really tell us. They say, if you're not who we thought you were, who are you? Look what he says. Verse 23. I am the voice of one crying out in the wilderness. Make straight the way of the Lord, as the prophet Isaiah said. Not I am John, son of Zechariah. That would have been would have gained him some clout amongst them, because Zechariah was obviously a respected man, high-ranking amongst them in his time. Not I am John the Baptist. I'm the forerunner for Christ. He just simply says, I am a voice who has come to prepare the way of the Lord. So who is the focus on for John? Christ. My job, he says, is to preach the coming Messiah, to implore all who hear me to turn from their sin and trust in Christ. That characterizes John's ministry. No one really pays attention to the workmen who prepare the road, at least not after it's prepared. We might pay attention to them when they're causing us delays. And that's what John wanted. He wanted no attention given to himself. He wanted no reputation or fame. We give no thought to those who have prepared the road when we drive down the highway. When we do remember anything about the road we drive on, if we even take time to consider such a thing, we think about the one who the road is named after. You take a highway like the George Bush tollway, okay, and you might think of him, or you might think of having to pay the toll, whatever your mind goes to. When you think about that, you don't think about those men who paved that road, who worked all those years to set it up. If you think of any person, you think of George Bush. Positive or negative thoughts about him. I'm not asking for boos or applause. Depending on your personal view, that's where your mind goes. To him. Why? Because that road was prepared for and named after him. John was preparing the way for the Lord, and he has no desire for his own name to be known, so that all who come along behind him see nothing but Christ. And when they're on that road, hypothetically speaking or illustratively speaking, they're thinking only of Christ. He was preparing the way of the Lord, declaring the gospel of Jesus Christ. And we would do well to take up a similar mantle, to not worry about how popular we become or how famous we become, even amongst our own church body. How well known we are, that's so-and-so, this and that. But to only be concerned with declaring the gospel of Christ.